Okay, that's actually a pretty good question. How do you get the most out of your mentor? I used to ask that question all the time. Well, I would say 4 things. 1, meet with them every single week. 2, talk to them about your life and have questions for them to answer. 3, listen to what they say. And 4, go and apply it and see what you learn. Okay. Now, to give you some perspective that will help you, you have to remember that they're not always going to agree with you or shower you with these praises you're looking for. They're your mentor. They're older, they're wiser, and they can see reality more clearly than you. Naturally, how you see life and what you should do to go about it will be different from how they see it. And that's normal. In fact, that's how it should be. Because if it wasn't, then why are you going to them for mentorship? You should be going to learn something new to apply in your life to make it better. But change is hard, and being exposed to new concepts that help you see reality more clearly is hard. Because you're going to realize that you're not doing something the best, and you will have to change to start doing it better. And that is hard. So let me give you a good example that happened to me and my mentor a few years ago. You're gonna get a kick out of this. Okay, so I was on this health kick about sugar. I watched a video on sugar that claimed it was a greater cause of cancer than just junk food. It was pretty logical, so instead of, weaning myself off sugar slowly, I, being a little bit of an extremist, just cut it immediately. I didn't eat added sugar for 3 years with 0 mistakes. That's how disciplined I was. It was around the 3-year mark though that I started to really feel the pain of cutting sugar on that extreme of a level, right? I remember how much of a toll it took on my body and my mind just to keep it up. But I kept it up just out of the pride of keeping it up, right? And I remember not being as happy in life and having frequent depressions. And I always thought it was something else. And it couldn't possibly be the sugar. Plus, I just couldn't let myself go back to it because 3 years was a record. I mean, I must have set the Guinness Book of World Records, right? And so in normal fashion, I finally talked to my mentor about not being so happy and having these frequent depressions. And he told me, yeah, I know why. I was like, what? How long did you know? And he said, for a while. So I was a little upset. I was like, why didn't you tell me if you knew? He said, because you didn't ask. Oh my goodness. So I said, okay, well, why? He said, you need to find something to look forward to each day in your life. But that is hard to do when you're suppressing yourself of things you enjoy like sugar. And I was a little shocked he talked about sugar. I thought he was going to say that I needed to gain a greater meaning for life or something like that. But no, it was eat more sugar. And that will help you have more capability to look forward to the day. That's kind of weird. I thought this advice was like ludicrous. And so I told him, you don't realize sugar causes cancer. He said, maybe, but what's worse? Eating the sugar in moderation and living a happy life, or suppressing yourself and causing yourself to have a lot of stress, which may even have a greater influence on a person getting cancer. Thought about it for a second. I said, well, I watch you and you try to avoid sugar. He said, yes, I do. A leader is always trying to gain more control over their mind and their body. And over time, they will do less things that have a negative impact. But I don't suppress myself in the process. If I want it, I eat it. And I don't feel bad or think anything bad about it. He said, look, leaders don't suppress anything in their life because it's not sustainable. And so he gave me this image of a pogo stick to think about in my mind. And he said, okay, when you cut something out because of suppression. It's never sustainable. And when you finally crack and come back to it, it will be like 10 times worse, like the pogo stick, right? When you cut it, you're right here. You really didn't cut it, you just compressed it, and when it releases, the height you go is higher than where you actually started. So when you crack, it's even worse, and now you feel even more terrible. So he said, to start gaining control over your body and your mind is hard, but it's all about sustainability. Cutting something out is not sustainable if you really love that thing. So you have to work up to it slowly. And as you make, small changes over time, you will have more control over it. And when you don't do it, it's not because you're suppressing yourself, but because you just didn't want to do it. So go take your wife out for some ice cream. Now, as tough of advice as this was for me at the time, I went and I did what he said. After not eating sugar for 3 years, I took my wife out and we got some ice cream that night. Whew! Let me tell you something. You go 3 years without sugar and you eat some ice cream. It was so amazing. And it was banana bread ice cream from Cold Stone. And if you know me and how much I love banana flavored products, amazing. So, I know you want to know what happened. Well, it's what you thought. For the first 4 months or so, I ate that ice cream twice a week and other treats throughout. I made up for all the sugar I didn't eat for 3 years. And guess what? My mentor was right. I did go a little higher, but I was happy and I wasn't having any depressions. And I did gain a greater capability to look forward to my day. But my goal in life is to be healthy and have greater control over my mind and my body. And continuing to eat the amount of sugar I was not really good for me. So when I was ready, I started to make little micro changes with the sugar that led me to where I am today. Today, I eat sugar about, once a week or even once every 2 weeks. And I'm very happy and I look forward to my day. Now that's on average. There are times like during the holidays or whatever when sugar's around me and I want it, I eat it. And I know I can have as much as I want, whenever I want. But my goal for being healthy, at this point, and my desire to be healthy, it really outweighs me wanting to binge on sugar like I used to. Plus, I use it now as something to look forward to as a social thing with friends and with family, or like a date night with my wife. So to recap, the moral of the story is, find a mentor. Tell them about your life and issues. Do what they say. And if it sounds a little wonky, chances are it is, but it's going to be one of life's greatest secrets for being successful and happy.